Hello, this is Omega from the Omega 13th Dimension podcast, and today's guest is Guntank81, and he's a fellow mecha anime fan I met on Twitter, as well as a recommendation by our previous guest, SRWD8081. So I hope you enjoy this video as much as us recording it, and that's all to say for now. Enjoy. Hello, this is your boy, Omega 13, host, general, and protector of the Omega 13th Dimension, as well as the Omega 13 podcast. And today, we are featuring our guest, Guntank81.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me here.
Okay, how I found you out is due to, I had, the famous Super SRWD1, or just D for short. The YouTuber that's known for Super Robot Wars games and playthroughs, he recommended me to you.
Yeah, the best way to call him, I just call him D180. That's it.
Oh, thank you, D180. Yes, he's really fun to talk to and whatnot. I learned a lot from him, and this is part 2 of our mecha themed podcast episodes of this start of season 2. So, clap, clap, clap.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, because I was watching your recent video that Mecha isn't dead, but can you tell me what is the gameplay footage of that? What's the game what you're playing inside the video? It had a robot and the gimmick says you can switch weapons and it has it.
Yeah, that's a new game that recently came out. It's called Panzer Paladin.
Panzer Paladin.
It is a mix of Mega Man, Castlevania, things like that, and it's a very fun game. Like, I don't know, you ever played DuckTales?
Yes, I played DuckTales. I played it when I was a kid. I played the Game Boy version to death. I've beaten it many times.
So think about that type of gameplay, but with a giant robot, and you also have the option to get out of the robot and be the pilot and destroy monsters with a whip, like Castlevania.
Oh, that's badass, man. That looks fun. I want to try it out. Is it on sale for Steam or something like that?
Oh yeah, it's on Steam and it's about $20.
Oh man, wish I had money, but I'm broke right now.
Understandable.
Someone give it to me, please.
Hey, you give me your Steam account, I'll give it to you. No worries.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, dude. There's plenty of stuff I want to get from Steam. Okay, I'll give you Steam at the end of the podcast. So, anyways, how I got into mecha anime is basically through I'll start, if you don't mind. I'll start first, not to be rude.
Sure, go ahead. No
Basically, how I got into robots is through a show called Gundam Wing. It was on Toonami one day, and I was waiting for DBZ and whatnot, and boy, the first episode, the shooting star she saw, the first sequence when the Wing Gundam showed up and blew up those Ares units, and I was like, damn, man, that's so cool. I'm sold. I even begged my mom to buy the action figures. I kept telling people this is so freaking cool and whatnot. It's not just I got into Gundam, but also got me into giant robots as a whole.
Yeah, and a lot of people got into mecha to the mecha genre by a Gundam Wing and G Gundam back in the 90s. That was the gateway, and Big O, of course. I can't forget Big O.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to say Evangelion is what got them into mecha, but there's a large group of people that also got into the mecha genre by Gundam Wing. Exactly. And whatever was being shown on Toonami that had Gundams, because I remember they also had 08 MS Team, G Gundam, and people loved that.
Yeah.
And because of that popularity, it created a brand new mecha fans along with it.
Along with DBZ, Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin as well. Toonami was the thing. And I used to saw some commercials with 2 mechas. I believe that was 08 MS Team or something like that, where 2 robots actually punching each other through their fists. How cool is that, seeing 2 robots punching each other with their mechanical fist?
Yeah, and the thing is that it's so well animated that the impact of the when they hit each other is so well animated that you kind of can feel it,
Yeah.
And there was because of Gundam Wing is how. Actually, you know what? Let me rephrase this. Because of Toonami,
Mhm.
we could say that today there's so many anime and mecha fans, and because of that, we have this surge of anime and mecha merchandise and accessibility that we didn't have back in the day.
Exactly.
Because I still remember, it was like for me, a little bit of background. I started in the mecha genre way back in 1980. I want to say 8. Basically, where I lived, they were showing Mazinger Z in Spanish.
Yeah.
And my father, he would go to the video. He would rent a couple videos that were Mazinger Z and Great Messenger and the movies, and I would watch them with him.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what mecha was. I just thought, hey, cool robot. So it started from there. So I was always very in love with this genre. And I got into Gundam when, what was the name of this show? Oh, it's Stardust Memories.
Yeah.
When I first saw that OVA, I rented it in Blockbuster. God, I'm showing my age there.
Yeah. You showed your age when you showed your age when you said 1988. I was born in 1992.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like 7 years old in '88. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I got into Gundam from Stardust Memory. And then one of my cousins, he got a old VHS that had some Chinese horrible subs of Zeta Gundam. And I was like, oh, I wish I could get this toys or this, or whatever it is called, because I didn't know what it was called.
Mhm.
So one of my cousins said, oh, I know a guy who can get you one of those. So when I got my first model kit, I think it was the RX. It was a very old one, and I didn't even know it was a model kit, so it wasn't even painted. I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? So as a kid, I just gave up. I put it aside or tossed it in the trash, whatever. But the point being is that now it's a lot more easier to get, mecha shows and model kits or figures, because it wasn't until 2004 it was still very difficult to get anything like Gundam related. If I wanted to get, for example, a high grade Universal Century Zeta Gundam, I would have to order it from Hobby Link Japan, and that would cost me like, yeah, it's $20, but hey, you gotta pay like 40 or $40 shipping.
Yep.
So it was very expensive.
$60,
and
$80.
And I think the thing that really upsets me recently is when you have all these big YouTubers, right?
Yeah.
And they say, oh, the gender's dead in the West because it's not popular. And I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I think I can mention the video, right?
Yeah, the video's in the link. I posted in the chat.
Yeah, but I mean, the video that has the fall of Mecca.
Yes. Oh, that one. Is it by Giguk or something like that?
Yeah, it's by Giguk. And
Bateman.
yeah, like I have respect for Giguk because he knows his stuff, but when it comes to Mecha, he doesn't.
Wrong.
And
Yes.
yeah, and sorry, and sorry, got a little bit of hiccup here.
Yeah. That's
so,
okay.
So, anyways. So he doesn't know that much of Mecha, and when he made the video The Fall of Mecha, I actually believed him. It was because I was like, yeah, you know what? There hasn't been any big name robot since Gurren Lagann. Then I stopped and think, wait, there's Gundam the Origin, Gundam Unicorn, there's Thunderbolt, there's also
the Code Geass movies.
The Code Geass movies. Even Mazin Kaiser Skull that came out also got a dub.
Yeah, and not a good one, but a meh one. But yeah. I got the Blu-ray.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, imagine 20 years ago trying to get a Blu-ray related to, I don't know, Shin Getter Robo or any Gundam show, it would have cost you tons of money. Now, it still costs you money, but not $100 worth. And I think that when you say the mecha gender is dead or is dead in the West, it really does a disservice to gender in general, because it's just not true. There's so many things that can disprove that the mecha gender is dead in the West. I mean, like we're saying, Panzer Paladin just came out, and that's a game that is, they don't say it, but it's based on an old anime called Panzer World Gallant.
Heard about that one. Do its opening theme.
Yeah, so it's kind of based on that. Even the mecha looks like it, and it has a whip. So that just came out this year, and so many other video games and media in general has adapted the mecha or the mecha genre. So when you say it's dead, what exactly you're saying? Is it dead within the anime community that really doesn't watch anything other than whatever is popular right now? Because if you're suggesting that, then yeah, you do have a case there.
Yeah.
But that's not saying much. It's just a small group of people, to put it that way, who think the mecha gender is dead because it's not popular in their eyes.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like a person like talking out of his butt, basically. And his followers just run to him because it's the popular thing. I want to be hip, so I got to follow the most popular crap right now. So I don't mind. Because the ignorance of those people is that I call them lazy and like nearsighted. Like if it's not popular, why should I bother watching this series or reviewing it? It doesn't bring me views.
And not only that, is if you say it's not popular, how can you explain Pacific Rim, a Hollywood movie with giant robots
and monsters,
or hell, even Iron Man? Yeah, Iron Man's a superhero, but everything he does is based on mecha.
Yeah, mecha suit.
So, and we have video games, a bunch of video games. Even League of Legends has skins that are related for mecha.
Yeah, League of Legends, Titanfall 2, Hardcore Mecha, Super Robot Wars, various Gundam versus games, the Panzer whatever game it's called. No offense.
Panzer Paladin.
Panzer Paladin. Yeah, etc. and so on.
Yeah.
And can I speak for a moment here?
Sure, go ahead.
I don't want to keep rattling and whatnot, because basically it's still alive, but they basically need some new ideas from it. In Gundam Build Divers Fighter series gave it a little hint, gave it a push, how you can push the mecha to move forward. You can make it into hobby shows like Metabots, if anyone remembers that, or Custom Robo, or you can just make an interesting show make it like more of like a Metal Gear series. Have the robots do the action and its human characters be like a political thriller, like the game Front Mission by Square Enix.
Yeah, and then the other game that came out on Deus Ex Machina for Nintendo Switch. It's now on Steam as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, you can like send me a code for those too.
Sure.
Yeah, one broke. Yes. Sorry about that. Anyways.
No worries.
Anyways, dude. But besides that, how you got into like the genre? Wait a minute. We already went to that question.
Sorry.
Yeah, but yes. Also, let me just get my bunch of questions here. Example questions. Thank D1 for that.
No problem.
For basically to anyway, how you got into anime as a whole?
Well, I guess you could say I was lucky because in the country, I live in Puerto Rico, so.
Oh, you're Puerto Rican. My mother's Puerto Rican.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we got lucky here because we used to have a channel that would give anime all the time.
Yeah.
So anime is kind of old school here, and a lot of people know it. So that's how I got into anime. I remember Channel, was it 2? Yeah, Channel 2 used to give shows like Tekkaman, Ronin Warriors.
Love Ronin Warriors when I was a kid.
Yeah, I loved it too. Rurouni
Yeah,
Kenshin,
love that series too.
and they used to give like the original Dragon Ball,
Mhm.
not Z, the original Dragon Ball.
Yes.
So that's how I got into the whole anime. Like ever since then,
Mhm.
I was back in early '90s around that time.
Yeah. When I was born, basically.
Yeah,
Yep. So basically, you're the guy that actually was the big mecha fan in Puerto Rico. I, yeah, the whole Latin America loves anime more accepting to it than the West, believe it or not. Even though it's
yeah,
growing here, but it's always been loved in Latin America.
definitely.
With
Latin
since
America loves their anime ever
the
since
80s.
Mazinger Z, you could say.
Yes. Mazinger Z, Saint Seiya,
Saint Seiya,
Dragon Ball.
um, Dragon Ball, Guy King.
Any Go Naga you work. You
Yeah,
throw it at them, they love it.
definitely. And they had like they weren't even called by their original Japanese names. Like
They give them
Mazinger's.
sub names. Like
Yeah, Mazinger was still called Mazinger Z.
mhm,
But when you go to, for example, Kotetsu Jig,
mhm.
he was called the Avenger or El Vengador in Spanish.
Yeah.
Or when you go to Gaikin, he was called something else. I can't remember right now.
Yeah. It's kind of like how SNK games are more popular in Spanish countries.
Yeah,
Like King of Fighters, Fatal Fury. I believe I was like
Art of Fighting.
riding my bike and if I turn on my camera, I saw some people smiling. I said hi, didn't care. I was exercising on my bike. I took this out where the water's outside and
Ah, look at that, Fatal Fury.
yup, it's one of my favorite fighting video game characters of all time. That's my early days of anime is through the OVAs by Masami Obari.
Oh, those OVAs were amazing.
Yes, my parents rented them from Blockbuster. Around like in 97 or 96 or so.
Yeah,
97, 98 or so.
yeah, it's just
And
about that time it came out.
yeah. And that's how
When
I
the,
got and that's how I got into like I want to play like Fatal Fury or Neo Geo because of those OVAs.
and the Fatal Fury games were way beyond their time. Like they were really good.
Yes, the story it unlike Street Fighter, the Fatal Fury games tend to be more like story driven,
Yeah, definitely.
and also with a two plane system, which requires more strategic rather than just like punching or kicking the other opponent.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I meant. Like, development wise, it was way ahead of its time because it was doing things that modern fighting games are now doing.
Yeah, sidestep. It's the prototype of basically the sidestep.
Yes, definitely. And like that was around the time where King of Fighters and Fatal Fury was its peak. And I think when Fatal Fury movie came out, it was when King of Fighters 97 came out.
Or 95.
And
I thought it was 95 or 96.
yeah, I think it was around the end of the Orochi arc.
Yeah.
One of my favorite arcs in King of Fighters all time.
It's basically like what's that one arc in Rurouni Kenshin with Makoto? What's that guy?
The Shishio arc?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite arc of Kenshin is basically the Jinshu arc.
Yeah. It was basically the best arc in general.
Yeah. But anyways, continue.
So, what was I saying earlier? Oh yeah, so Kino Fighters was also very innovative. It had a three character select system, the team based system. We didn't see that later. You see Capcom taking it to the next level with Marvel's with the Capcom games.
Yeah.
And that's when you think about it, SNK kind of has similarities with the mecha genre. Like it pioneered so many things, and people forget that SNK existed, and they always credit Capcom.
Like what, dude? Capcom Street Fighter 2 was innovative as well, but
Yeah.
but can I say one thing?
Sure, go ahead.
But basically, people forget that SNK started with their fighting games with story-based driven plots, team-based gameplay,
Yep.
weapons in a fighting game, and a game that doesn't take place in the modern era or known as feudal Japan, like 1597 or something like that in Edo period.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's all I can think of off the top of my head right now.
And like SNK made two Edo period games. They made Samurai Showdown, and then they made
Last Blade,
the Last Blade. Yeah.
which is basically in the Bakamatsu period.
Yep.
I thought the game didn't release in the US at the time, so I didn't get the grasp of the story, but I love its graphics and gameplay.
Oh yeah, the sprite animations in SNK games, especially Metal Slug,
Yeah.
they are fantastic.
Yeah.
And when you say story driven, like Street Fighter didn't really have a story until the movie, the animated movie came out and gave the game an actual story.
Yeah. The animated movie basically introduced Street Fighter to not a lot more people, but also it gave like what the moves will look like in real life.
Yeah.
And the fighting was way more brutal and whatnot as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, it's a kind of a shame that Kino Fighters never really got an animated series like Fatal Fury did.
Yeah.
Because I would have loved to see that Orochi saga animated.
Yeah. Till recently, it got an amazing manga series by the name of King of Fighters: A New Beginning, based on KOF 14, which is one of my favorite PS4 games. You see right here, the first 3 volumes.
That's awesome.
They're worth it, man. Worth it. It's a hint it's going to be an anime, but it's not going to happen for like a couple of years, or when SNK is confident enough for having an anime, because basically King of Fighters has a large roster of characters, and that requires a lot of like insert a bunch of characters as well as the voice actors to be used. And some have to repeat, have two roles in the same in the 2 roles due to the amount of characters used, and etc.
Yeah, like the voice actor who does King Camp 1, he also does I think it was Shoei? I can't remember his name. The little Freddy Krueger guy?
Oh, Choi Bounce.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't King. It's Terry Bogard. His voice actor. He does Choi.
Yeah, wow. I didn't know that. Damn.
Yeah, and he does other voices as well.
Yeah. The original voice cast, even though a lot of people love them, including myself, kind of retired because they've been doing the voices for years. Even after their bankruptcy, to believe it or not.
Yeah. And I think the Terry voice actor did came back. I think it was for Smash Bros.
The original one?
Yeah,
or the one from KOF 14.
I think they have both. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I might be wrong here.
Yeah, I believe the KOF 14 one.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyways, the next question is your opinion on the Mobile Suit Gundam series as a whole. We went to this, but I want you to go into like further detail on it.
Okay, so Gundam series as a whole, it's been an up and down. It's always, there's a good Gundam show, then there's a bunch that are dull or very boring or bad.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, we had a great Gundam show with Gundam 00.
Yeah.
And then we have Gundam Age. We had fantastic mecha designs.
Yeah.
And it had the 2 amazing arcs, was the Fleet and Asimu arc. The Kyo arc was good until those like final episodes.
Yeah.
That kind of, it still upsets me because they were going a direction, then suddenly they like everything changed and made no sense.
Yeah.
And then we have
Reconquista G.
Yeah, but before that we have Build Fighters.
Yeah.
And Build
Saber
Fighters
series.
It was great.
Yeah.
And then we have Bill Fighters Try, we watched, which wasn't that good compared to the original Bill Fighters. It was decent enough.
Yeah.
And then we have Reconquista in G, which is extremely divisive.
Yeah.
A lot of people love it. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people just don't care for it. A lot of people say, I didn't get it, but I guess it was all right.
Yeah. And
And
then we got sorry about interrupting you. Sorry.
No
about
worries,
that.
no worries.
And then we got IBO.
Iron Blood Orphans. That show had a lot of promise, and it had a world building that was very promising.
Yeah.
But because they had internal issues with the staff, we got that second season that was incredibly mediocre.
Yes, what they have problems with its staff. Can you show where you heard this from? Because I need some links on that.
Yeah, I can get you the links. Basically, Tetsuya Nagai,
Yeah.
and another staff member, Mari Okada.
Oh yeah, the guys who did the Index series.
And they also worked on Aquarian Evil.
Yeah.
So they had some issues because here's the thing. A lot of people say that Mari Okada fell in love with the voice actor of Galio.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she wrote him to be like the unsung hero of Iron Blood Orphans.
Yeah.
But so there's mixed reports between that. There's the writer director.
Yeah.
The guy who writes the story.
Yeah.
He wanted to kill everyone in Iron Blood Orphans. No one was going to be alive.
More darker than its already dark ending.
Yeah, it was going to be even more darker.
Yeah.
But I think they stopped and they said no. But he still got away with it. He still managed to
kill a bunch of the cast.
Yeah, like the whole cast is gone.
And the bad guys win.
And that's the thing. Like the bad guys win. Like everything in Iron Blood Orphans second season, everything they fought for was for nothing.
Yeah.
There was no real resolution, and a lot of people love this aspect of Iron Blood Orphans because they think it's realistic.
Yeah.
But I think it was poorly written because you have the Gundam Barbatos, and they have this lore saying that the Gundams were unstoppable.
Yeah.
And suddenly, Gjallarhorn has the Dying Sleeve weapons that can kill the Gundam. So when you think about it, they treated this like the Gundam's a dragon, and we have all these dragon killers to destroy the Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what happened.
Yeah.
And then you have Galio come out as a victor. And I don't know, there were so many issues with Iron Blood Orphans that we can make like a 3-hour podcast talking about it.
Yep. Wow, man.
But here's the thing. After Iron Blood Orphans, Orphans gave even more popularity to Gundam. So we have to give it credit for that.
Yes.
A lot of people love it, and a lot of people got into Gundam and to the mecha in general.
Yeah.
And this is something that a lot of people kind of dismiss, is that Gundam creates mecha fans.
Yes. When the mecha entry's good, it brings in fans. When it's not good, it's like, ugh.
Yeah. And the thing is that then after Iron Blood Orphans, we have
Re-Rise, Divers and Re-Rise.
Yeah. So Divers wasn't that good compared to Re-Rise.
Yeah. But
when you finish Re-Rise and you watch Divers, everything makes sense. So it's like, oh, okay, so that's why Divers was the way it was.
Yeah.
So Re-Rise also has created a new influx of mecha fans.
Yeah.
Because so many people liked it.
Yeah.
I always have this argument with people who like to bring up My Anime List.
Ugh, that garbage ass site, man.
So the website has existed since 2007 or something like that.
Yeah.
But you can't trust user reviews. That's like trusting Metacritic user reviews.
Yeah.
and you just can't trust any reviews. You just gotta like watch the show and see what they really are about, or go to someone that knows about the mecha genre and they can talk to you about it. And while there are some people in my enemy list that are mecha fans and they put very good reviews, it's usually flooded by people who watch one episode and drop it and they give it a bad review. And that's something that's very constant with mecha in general.
Yeah.
So you can't really base the popularity of mecha because of what my anime list says, because it's not accurate.
Not accurate, and its user base are kind of trollish.
Exactly. And you can't even base it on Reddit or 4chan or any of website like Recetera. You have to like, hey, there's this show. I'm going to go and check it out. Let's see if I like it or not. But you just can't say, I'm not going to watch it because my anime list says it's bad. And I think that's a problem that plagues everything, even in video games.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, that these anime YouTubers base their theory that the mecha genre is dead based on exactly, or Reddit. And that's not doing justice to the mecha genre. And there is a fact, I know people who work in the industry who are big mecha fans.
Yeah.
And they have been trying to bring a lot of shows to the West.
And is it on the Japanese side or the U.S. distribution side?
It's the U.S.
Okay. If you can, you still have contact with them, because I love to have them appear on the podcast soon, if you're able to get them on.
I'll try. The thing is that one of them works for this TV show called Archer.
Yes.
And they actually added a few mecha homages into that show.
Yeah.
So when you say mecha's not popular, you better provide proof. Not say, oh, it's not popular because we haven't had a big banger since Gurren Lagann. And that's not true, because when you think about it, another big mecha show was Gundam Build Fighters and
Code
Gundam
Geass.
Thunderbolt.
Code Geass, around the same time. Eureka 7, Code Geass, if you want to talk about at the same time.
Macross, Delta,
Frontier. No, Frontier, not Delta.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
If Harmony Gold didn't exist, Macross would be equally as popular as Gundam.
No, bigger, because it'll be big as Ghost in the Shell and Akira.
Yeah. And because it has so many, it has the whole waifu bait.
Yeah.
So that would be a perfect show for Westerners.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, that whole...
We don't speak about that company here, man. I'm really pissed off. And one thing that reminds me, remember that Ali interview from Mecha Damashi?
Yeah.
When he reviewed Matt, or one of the reviewers, not him or someone else, gave Shoichi Katamori an interview, and he said an opinion about Robotech. He said he gave some shade on that, man. Like, say go. He said something like in the lines of, please support the official release, the Macross release, meaning he is even pissed about this whole situation, and he wants Macross here as well.
And the thing is, I blame not just on Harmony Gold, I also blame it on Tatsunoko for allowing Harmony Gold to have. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't care. They just, more money, let's do it.
Yeah.
And that really like pisses me off, because we had a chance to finally bring Macross to the West, and now it's gone. Forever.
We'll be dead when it comes out.
I don't think it will ever come out at all.
Yeah. Which, unless Harmony Gold goes out of business or sells the IP.
Or there's some talks, because I don't know if you noticed, on Spotify you can find Macross Frontier music in the West.
Hold on. its soundtracks are in the U.S., but not the
Yeah,
shows or the
exactly.
games. The
Yeah,
hardest part to license a Macross show is in the U.S., but not its show or its games.
exactly.
Like,
And you know how they got away with it?
oh,
They released the songs under the name of the original composer. For example, Mayin.
oh man, it's like the whole Macross Plus and Macross 2 thing. While Harmony Go was dealing with some trouble, Manga Entertainment slipped in Macross Plus and Macross 2 here.
Yep.
I got the DVD release of Macross Plus in my room.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Volume
there's
1,
still
the movie edition. Oh yeah, it's a movie edition. Continue.
like ways that you can try and bring Macross. Well, Harmony Gold will find their way to sue you.
Yeah. I don't care. Sue me. I got the proof here. Sue you. What you doing with the IP then? You're doing nothing. What you doing with the IP just besides sitting
Literally,
on nothing?
literally nothing, and stealing people's money, because I remember that GoFundMe or Kickstarter they tried to
They
do.
failed miserably. No one wants Robotech. It's dated. Look at World Productions with Voltron or Goal Line. They're doing stuff with it. Recently with Legendary Defender, which is divisive. It had problems.
Yeah.
Very divisive now. At least they're doing stuff with the franchise, unlike Harmony Gold.
And here's the thing. It's not that hard to treat Macross like Saban has treated Power Rangers, where Sentai and Power Rangers can coexist.
Yes.
But they're so greedy, and they just took the IP so no one else can have it.
Yeah.
Because I know that Funimation wanted to have the IP.
Yes.
That
reminds me of one thing. Remember when Harmony Gold gave the rights to stream the Robotech series, the 3 Robotech shows in the Robotech series?
Yeah.
Probably Funimation's going to have some talks about how they're going to release Macross in its original counterparts of Southern Cross and Mospita. They're probably going to have some ways to like slip in some Macross there.
We'll see.
They have the money. They have the money to buy Harmony Gold's IP out.
And it's like Harmony Gold is probably the worst company to exist right now.
Yes.
And that's saying a lot when Saban is still around.
Yeah.
Or Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So Macross is a franchise that would have been incredibly popular here, perhaps even more popular than Code Geass or Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
And it shows because sometimes when I go to Reddit,
mm-hmm.
there's some people asking about Macross,
mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of people replying and talking about it and saying how good it is, especially Frontier. And people are like, oh, this is my type of show. Because unlike other mecha shows, it doesn't focus on the mecha.
Yeah.
That quote makes me so mad.
It doesn't focus on the mecha.
Oh,
That's
God.
the appeal of one of the appeals of Macross is its transforming fighter jets, man. That's how I got into like Macross in the first place, is through Robotech and through the its Vertech Valkyrie fighters.
Yeah.
Yes. The other question is basically, what are your inspirations for being involved in the mecha anime community outside of Japan?
So, back in 2002, near my university campus, there was a store, an otaku shop. They had all these like Japanese stuff, and they had this video game called Super Robot Wars.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I know this guy. This is Messenger. And this is the Gundam. What the hell is this? And the guy tells me, oh, that's a crossover between Japan's best known robots. I'm like, how much? And he said, oh, $80. I'm like, oh, damn. So I buy it.
Yeah.
I save up money and I buy it. And I come home. And this was for the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
So back then, you had to mod your PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have already modded mine because prior to this, I wanted to play a Dragon Ball game
Yeah.
called Dragon Ball Legends for the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
So luckily, I had it modded. I put the game, and I was blown away by it. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, this looks amazing. And that Super Hero Wars game was Shin Super Hero Wars, the one where the robots look like their actual size, not super deformed.
Yeah.
And it had very poor animations.
Yeah.
But I still loved it. And this was during the time where Gundam Wing had already came out, and
In the
G
US.
Gundam. And there was always this debate who was stronger, the God Gundam, the Gundam Wing.
Yeah.
And the game gives me the scene of Domon fighting Hiro, so I was losing it. And I go ahead and I tell my friends, hey, you got to check this out. It's about Gundam and Mazinger. So I show it to my friends, and I start to get into the fandom by starting to search back in the day places that people were talking about giant robots, and I found a perfect forum. That forum was the SRWG.
Say that word again. I think I heard the name before. Let me just type it in on Google.
Sure.
SRWG.
Yeah, Super Road Wars Genesis.
Okay.
That forum, I think, is now gone, but that's how it started.
Oh, I can't find on Google now. Oh, never mind. Is it like now? It's like basically a small little site now. Whatever.
Yes, they had to move because the owner of the forum no longer maintains it.
He died or something.
No, he pretty much retired from the internet.
Yeah.
His name was Daba, my lord, and he was a great guy.
Yeah.
But
forums. It's that era of forums, man.
Yeah, that era of forums.
Yeah.
And it's like they still around. They have a Discord.
Yeah.
But that's how I got into the fandom. Yeah, it's not active at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like the old site, it's pretty much gone.
Yeah.
But that's how I got into the forums. That's how I met D180.
Through those forums?
Yeah, all the way back then.
Damn.
I know this man for years, and we have had our battles, and we're like good friends now.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
And
he recommended me to you.
Yeah.
Or not.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And he has done a lot for the Mecha fandom in general with his videos, his YouTube videos.
Yes.
Always talking about Super Hero Wars, talking about the mobile games. No, he does a lot for the community.
Yeah.
And that's how I met him. I met so many people, and in 2009, during the time when YouTube was being like blooming,
yeah,
I made a YouTube account, and I started uploading videos about giant robot because I wanted to spread the love of Mecha, and that continued for a couple years. I was making a podcast with D180 and this guy called Jim Bob, and until 2014 when I kind of got a job, and I kind of let the channel die until recently when I started to revive it and adding new stuff into it.
Yeah.
So basically my goal in the fandom has always been to spread the knowledge and spread the love of Mecha.
Yeah. About that D180 guy, which I met yesterday, which I talked to, he's a really cool guy. He actually got me into got me entertained watching various Super Robot Wars videos. And Mecha Damashi as well.
Oh yeah, Mecha Damashi, that's Oli.
Yeah, Ollie. He's like the representative of the West. He interviewed almost every single mecha creator.
His interviews are amazing.
Because we said at the same time. Anyways, but the problem is he forgot to interview one guy. Go Nagai.
The Gunna guy is kind of hard to get interviewed, though.
Why is that? Because he's still busy, or he's like shy with interviews?
I think it's because he's shy with interviews. Who knows? Maybe he'll be able to get him.
Yeah.
As I know, Gunna guy likes to go to cons,
Yeah.
conventions,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Maybe one day he'll be able to get him. I would love to see an interview with Gunna guy and talk about his relationship with Ken Ishikawa. Sorry, Ishinomori. Ishinomori.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to those guys.
And find out how exactly Get a Robo came to be.
Yeah.
Because there's always been a lot of rumors. I know there's a Get a Robo Bible that explains all this, but
yeah,
I haven't been able to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the old rumor is
Mm-hmm.
Gunna guy was in a car accident with 3 cars.
Yeah.
And that's how he got the idea for Get a Robo.
He was in a car accident thank God he lived on that. He used a death situation to have the idea of Get a Robo?
Yep. That was one of the old rumors. If that's true or not, I don't know, but
yeah.
But the other one is that Get a Robo was actually going to be Mazinger Z, but he scrapped the idea, and then Ken saw the design and he remodeled it a bit and said, "Hey, can I use this for a series?" Yeah, and Gunna guy gave him the blessing. Said, "Yeah, go ahead."
Yeah, basically he's his friend, basically.
Yeah.
And that's how people get confused of Gunna guy creating Get a Robo.
Definitely.
But it's basically his friend Ishikawa.
Yeah, when you think about it, it was created by Ishikawa, blessed by Gunna guy.
Yeah.
And that's why you always see Get a Robo together in Mazinger Z, because they're technically brothers.
Yes, brothers from another mother, basically.
Yeah.
And after Ishikawa died, he bought the rights to the Getter series.
Yeah, Dynamic Pro now owns Getter series, and I think also Toei still has some rights of Get a Robo.
Yeah.
Now, there's another thing that another example, the Mega Gender is not even dead. We're getting, I don't know how true this is. I'm gonna say it right now, but from what I've seen, we're getting a Voltes 5 remake.
In the Philippines, yes.
Yes.
Because Voltes 5 is basically mainstream in the Philippines due to various reasons as well. And you got it's not dead. It just needs it. It's not dead at all. It's just a bunch of fans and it's having support. But it's just due to arrogance. Like, it's not my type of thing, so it's dead to me.
Exactly.
That's how what it is. If it allows me to screen share,
Sure.
Let me screen share this. And then let me see the bookmarks here. Yada yada. Fall Guys. Here's the video.
Yeah, that's the one. Oh God.
BS here. Let's just play the video. Wrong. Let me just show my reaction here and my reaction key. Where's my reaction key? Okay, so I wish I could share my reaction here. So, dude, I wish I could show my reaction here, but
the anime man.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to anime and obscure manga, he's a pro at that.
Yes.
But when it comes to giant robots,
no. Continue. No. He should. Yeah.
Darling the France. Jesus Christ.
Don't get me with that shit, man. Speaking of which, you should watch Mazinger Zero.
Mazinger Zero should get an OVA, to be honest.
Oh, just cringe-worthy. The cringe, man. Seeing that cringe, man. Seeing that garbage cringe, man.
Hey, at least it's not as bad as Digibro, that YouTuber.
We don't talk about that Digibro guy. He's
Like,
he's cringeworthy, man. Why
like
always the big YouTubers are cringeworthy?
that's what people like, and it's like I still question it. Like all he does, this guy, he grabs a camera, records himself walking around his home talking trash,
Yeah,
and he has so many subscribers and viewers. It's like, why?
yeah. Also with the chibi reviews, don't know about that guy because he kind of like sometimes gives me cringes too. He's like that stereotypical otaku that cares about waifus more than the actual anime itself. If it has no waifus, I'm not interested in it.
Yeah, that's his style. Like he cares about the waifus. He's a hit or miss.
Yeah. And the other question is basically how to invite non-mecha fans into the genre.
Well, I've been trying to do that for years, and
Yeah.
it's difficult.
Yeah, it's
But
very difficult.
you have to know what they like. If
Yeah.
they like slice of life anime and they want something refreshing and new,
Yeah.
you got to recommend them and make a show that's it's not, for example, Gargantia.
Yeah.
That show is a show I would recommend for someone who likes slice of life and not too much drama,
Yeah.
but enough to get involved and not too much of the giant robots,
Yeah.
because it's mostly Chamber is sentient.
Yeah.
So he's another character in the
Yeah.
series, and also Planet. Captain Earth.
Captain Earth, yeah. Planet With is
Captain,
awesome.
yeah, Planet with is great.
Yeah.
That's another show I would recommend. Like you have to know the person. Like when they ask, "Hey, can you recommend me a show?" and you have to like ask them, "What do you like? Do you like a lot of action? Do you like to just turn off your brain and watch something dumb on TV?"
Yeah.
Then I recommend them several mecha shows,
Yeah.
and it has worked. Some in my university, I recommended so many mecha shows that now those guys are kind of mecha fans,
Yeah.
and I almost always recommend to people like. Actually, when you say about this, I am making a video where it's basically a guide on how to get people into the mega genre.
Yeah, I need to share that, man. I need to share that video.
Yeah, once I finish it, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm going like a list. For example, oh, you like Gurren Lagann?
Yeah.
Here's all these other shows that are similar to Gurren Lagann and perhaps even better.
Yeah.
And make a like a list of shows based on what people kind of like or is popular in the West.
Yeah.
Like Code Geass. If you like Code Geass, then check out Botoms.
Yeah.
And
Love Toms.
and the thing is,
Toms.
yeah, definitely. And the thing is that this list I'm making, also going to make it accessible for them. In other words, you can watch this show on this streaming website that's legal, or this other website, you know.
Yeah.
So because the thing is with the general audiences, they're not gonna bother
Pirating.
Yeah, they're not gonna bother with that.
They're not gonna get them viruses.
No, they're not gonna risk going to a torrent site and get their anime. No. They're not gonna. They would rather go and risk everything going to Kiss Anime.
Yeah.
And I have a major gripe miss Kiss Anime because Kiss Anime took a lot of fan subs from fan subbers that did not profit from it, and were making profits from that.
Yup.
And I'm glad Kiss Anime is gone because of that reason. And I know that a lot of people have issues watching the anime because it's region lock and all that. So that's also being considered in the video. And trying to find ways they can watch these shows, or either using a VPN, or maybe there's something in their area they can watch, they can use. And so it's still a work in progress, but hopefully I have it ready maybe by Tuesday or Wednesday. And it's basically, I'm going to be making a lot of videos where I recommend people mecha shows that they can watch. And also, I'm going to be focusing on that video. Mecha shows that are modern because the general anime fan doesn't like old school animations.
Yeah, for some reason they don't like vintage anime. It's
No.
until recently, think Retro Crush, HDH Live or Retro Crush for bringing
Yeah.
vintage anime to awareness.
Yeah, but still, because on Reddit,
Yeah.
from what I read, a lot of people don't like it because they feel the animations are not good. But when you watch some of the 1970s Super Robots,
Yeah.
that animation was pioneering all the animation we have today.
Yeah.
There was a study that was made. I think I had the PDF.
Yeah.
That Get a Robo
Mm-hmm.
was groundbreaking when it came to animation.
Yeah.
And Voltes 5 was also groundbreaking.
Because how dramatic it is.
Not only because dramatic, but because of the engineering that went when the robot was transforming.
Yes. It shows like the insides of the robot and everything. I love it
Yeah,
when they
and-
show insides of the robot. Well,
Oh, I love it too.
yes. Especially
It's
with
like-
the old Macross series. Sorry about the cutting you off. Don't want to be disrespectful.
No, I don't worry about it.
But basically, when you see the insides of the robot, especially with the old Macross show, it was like, damn, man, look at that, the designs, man. Like seriously, look at Super Dimension Fortress Macross, the original Macross.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
its concept arts and whatnot. It is beautiful.
And the cockpits, when you saw the cockpits in the original Macross, you're like, oh my God, that looks amazing.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, this actually could happen in real life. And
Yeah.
in Voltes, you will see like when the pilots would transform the machine, the
Yeah.
engineering, they actually used like real engineering for some of those parts. There's
Yeah.
still some fake stuff, but
yeah,
they did use some real engineering. Unlike Get a Robo, when the Get a Robo transform, it's kind of impossible.
yeah,
It kind of like evolves.
yeah. Like it's like Kotetsu Jig basically mashed together like a car accident.
Oh God, yeah. Kotetsu Jig is incredible because Hiroshi just jumps and transforms into a giant head.
Yeah,
It's just amazing.
yeah,
Oh, and by the way, another thing about
Yeah.
the mecha genre,
Mhm.
even wrestling, they've been using some mecha motives,
yeah,
especially in New Japan. But then again, it's in Japan.
yeah,
In New Japan, you have Yushin Liger, a legend that's based on Kishin Liger from Go Nagai.
yeah. Which many besides, even he's famous and has a following in the U.S., but they don't know who Go Nagai is till recently with Crybaby, which I consider to be the weakest of his involved works. In my opinion, don't hang me. Don't hang me. I prefer the 90s grotesque as hell 90s OVAs of Devilman.
Dude, that Devilman from the 90s and Demon Lord Dante,
Yeah,
those were great. And those were like, they were a lot more violent than the manga because the manga was violent as hell.
yeah,
And they were a lot more violent. It's true that Devilman Crybaby did something right and that it did
adapted the whole manga.
yeah, and it did it correctly.
Yeah,
And I can appreciate that, but compared to the 90s one, I would prefer to watch 90s one first.
yeah,
It's kind of like, for example, JoJo.
yeah,
You know how JoJo Bizarre Adventure had a 90s
Yes.
OVA?
yeah. Love the Dio fight. One of my favorite anime moments was
Yeah.
that Dio fight.
And was better in a few fights were better in the 90s OVA than in the 2013 one.
Yeah,
But I will say that the Japanese voice acting was better in the modern JoJo than in the OVA
yes.
in some parts. But then
Yeah.
again, you have great voice actors.
In
A lot of
both-
voice actors.
in both English versions.
Yeah.
In the OVAs in the 90s with JoJo, I was surprised with his voice acting, especially Dio's.
Yeah.
Both versions of the US dub of Stardust Crusaders are pretty good.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And another thing is that
Mhm.
a lot of voice actors
Mhm.
from JoJo
Mhm.
started their origins with Mecha.
Yeah.
like Dio Brando, voice actor,
Yeah.
is a voice actor for
Gintama, Gintoki.
no, that's the other dude. That's Joseph, Joseph
Yeah.
Joestar.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
the voice actor for Dio, he's the voice actor for the Neo grandson pilot for Super Wars,
That dude,
Shushi
shit,
Hirakawa.
love that guy, man.
So that's Dio.
Even though he whoops my ass, I still kind of love the Neo Grandson.
Oh yeah, I love the Neo grandson. It's one of my favorite designs.
Sidebusters, the Sidebuster.
Sidebuster.
What's that other one that transforms into a horse and has like a giant, huge katana?
Oh, that's the Sengar and the Außenseiter.
I love those designs, man.
Like, that's another thing.
Yeah,
We're talking about Super Wars.
yeah.
The popularity of the mecha genre has reached such heights that we're not
Because,
getting official translations.
yeah. Let alone in Japan, it's forgotten.
Yeah.
Look at the Brave series. Look at Voltoms. Look at various super robot series it introduced, and people got into it. It's just we're talking about the Japanese side. It got people into robots, more
Yeah.
robot shows. That includes in the West as well. If you manage to get your hands on it and play the games in Japanese, like I did, I played like Super Robot Wars Z2, Sasai Hen, and Hakai Ken for hours. Love those games, but got stuck on them. But I love those games to death. But really, dude, the Super Robot Wars have amazing designs for the its originals as well. It even designed my mecha designs. It inspired my mecha designs.
Like, for example, one of my favorite mecha designs from Super Wars
Yeah,
is a recent one, and that was the Gunlam.
yeah,
That design was so damn good. It felt like a Brave,
mm-hmm.
and it felt like
Mm-hmm.
that's something refreshing. Like, maybe you should do a series based on this guy, because he's not a young kid. He's like already an old guy,
Yeah,
and he's already like incredibly badass.
yeah,
And he has an amazing theme song.
yeah. They should try
And
again with the original series again. The Moon Trails is alright, but it had a bad translation at first. Besides with X, V, and T. Yes, I have almost all the Super Robot Wars games. I just need the Moon Dwellers.
so
Yeah.
that's why I'm glad that they actually got a team who is as big. They are big fans of Super Robot Wars
And mechs.
and mechs. I don't know if you ever seen or read the 4 Coma.
No, I didn't.
So, okay,
But I saw the
so
Twitter post, if that counts.
yeah, so this person, she has been in the fandom for years. She has translated so many things for Super Wars, Christina, and she finally got the opportunity to work with Super Wars T and X
and V.
and V. So you notice that the quality has increased a lot thanks to her.
Yeah.
And it's very wholesome that someone who has been in the fandom for so many years finally gets the chance to translate the game they love so much.
Yes.
And when I found out that she was like officially working on it, it made me really happy.
Yeah.
And it's someone who really deserves it.
Yeah.
And it also helps with bringing the series to the West. And as I showed in my video, overseas sales for Super Wars T
through the roof.
Through the roof.
Imports, like they did like a slick workaround. They released it in Southeast Asia in English, and due to the PS4's like region free, people can import it through Play Asia.
Exactly.
And Amazon, and bam, it went through the roof. Word of mouth as well.
And you don't even have to import it from PlayAsia. You can just digitally buy the game on the PlayStation 4 with another account based on Asia.
Yeah.
And play it.
Yeah. Damn, that too, man. Yeah.
That's how I got. Yeah, go ahead.
And that's how I got the games. Like basically, I only have a Japan account for Virtual On collection, which is only released in Japan. I managed to get some extra money. I used to work at McDonald's to use that money. to go do my barely used Japan account and buy Virtual On. I had to type it in Japanese. It was a ton of work.
Yeah.
I managed to buy it.
Dude, speaking about Japanese, like I just gave me a flashback when I used to like look for guides for superhero wars and I had to type things in Japanese
Yeah.
to see if I can get anything.
Yeah.
Oh man, hopefully those days are now gone.
Yeah.
And I really hope that the next superhero wars is original generations.
Yeah.
And we probably get the
Z units.
I don't think the C units are gonna show up yet.
Yeah.
There are hints that they may show up, but I think we're gonna get the conclusion for the Alpha Saga.
Damn, it took them years to conclude the Alpha Saga.
Yep,
Even because I thought the Alpha Saga ended in 2004 with Alpha 3, which would have been one of fans' favorite Super Robot Wars games. I had to sell it because of like trade. I have to trade it for money and whatnot, but I'll never trade ever again.
No, I understand. No worries. The thing is that Super Wars Original Generation hasn't really hit that part of the Alpha story.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen the Vampreos, we haven't seen the upgraded units for Dailio or the Argon.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. Hopefully we do get some hints. We're finally gonna get that storyline. And I really want it, and I like Moon Dwellers, but Moon Dwellers felt like a filler.
Yeah.
It was great seeing those Super Wars D units and J.
Yeah.
And it was great seeing them, but I think that was it because everyone else was pretty much the same from the past game.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens in the future. I have high hopes. And I know a lot of people are saying that Super Wars is dead because they haven't announced anything new. But
what? It's dead? Is this Mecha talk dead again? Come on, man. We got recent games like T and V and X.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
People say that, but they don't even acknowledge the fact that the mobile games are bringing a lot of money to the company. So that means there's a lot of interest in Super Wars. Yeah. And Bandai Namco knows this.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised, mark my words right here, that Super Wars Original Generations, whatever they want to call it, 3 or whatever, will come to the West for PC, Switch, and PlayStation 5 or 4.
Yeah.
It's going to come to, I think.
Original Generations only, though.
Yeah, and I think, and that's fine. Because that way they can gouge and maybe make a Western focus Super Wars.
Yeah.
Where you have the Mazinger, the Getter, and a bunch of Gundams.
Yeah.
And try to avoid that license hell.
Yeah.
And I think it's possible to have a Western.
No Macross, number one.
No Macross.
No Mosquito.
None of that, but you can have Voltron.
You can have Voltron, you can have Big O, you can have Pacific Rim, you can have Titanfall 2.
You can. I don't see why not. You can even have Panzer Paladin.
Yeah. Yeah, for the West.
Yeah, for the West.
You have your Gundams, your Mazingers, your Getters, your
Kokias, Gurren Lagann.
Yeah. Evangelion, Gunbuster.
Promare.
Yeah.
Promare, that's the name, yeah.
Promare. Forgot that was a mecha show.
Yeah, it is a mecha show, and it's actually a quite decent one.
Yeah.
And it's quite popular, too.
Yeah.
Again, breaking the stigma that mecha's not dead.
Okay. Yeah, here's another one. Like, basically, another question is, it's an unrealistic one, but I don't want to answer this anyway. If you could, how you can improve the genre of mecha anime as a whole?
Okay, to improve it?
Yeah.
All right. So that's a very interesting question.
Yeah.
And I think one of the best ways to improve it is by focusing, like in the old robot shows, you will focus more on the monster of the week and not be very story driven.
Yeah.
So if you want to make a modern new mega show,
Mhm.
I will make it as interesting as possible, like New Get a Robo
Yeah.
and Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna be a month of the week. We know it's Super Robot and it's gonna be silly, so let's go as over the top as we can.
Yeah.
And that's something that a lot of people like. For
Mhm.
example, when you watch One Piece, it's extremely over the top.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball over the top.
Yeah.
Naruto over the top. And that's something the mecha fans
Shonen,
like.
the shonen manga
Yeah.
feel.
You
And
add the
it has a rival too on the opposing side.
yeah, and that's not a reason why G Gundam is so popular,
Yeah.
because it has those shonen tropes.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if you want to improve the mecha genre in general,
Yeah.
I would add more of those shonen tropes
Yeah.
and mix them up with a little bit of slice of life.
Yeah.
So to put it in like this,
Yeah.
I would make a old school super robot show.
Mhm.
Like I would take, for example, Get a Robo,
Mhm.
and I will adapt the manga,
Mhm.
but make it more over the top, like more violent and
Mhm.
more crazier.
Yeah.
Something that people can say, or say, "Holy crap, that was amazing! I've never seen something like this before."
Mhm.
Because can you imagine the faces of the people when Ryoma just completely decimates a dinosaur by his bare fist
Yeah.
and actually saying the words "fuck dinosaurs"?
Yeah.
It's like those are things that people like.
Yeah.
The general anime fan likes and loves over the top stuff. For
Yeah.
example, in sports anime,
Yeah.
extremely over the top.
Yeah.
So the thing is, a lot of people think that most mecha animes are either like Gundam or
Like your Mazinger show.
your Mazinger show that's like, although Mazinger is actually story based when you think about it, especially
Yeah.
Shin Mazinger.
Mhm.
But yeah, they think, oh, this is just a Monster of the Week robot show, nothing special.
Mhm.
So when you make a robot show, you have to like take it completely over the top,
Yeah.
like Gridman did. Gridman was
Yeah.
also over the top, and it's very popular in the West as well.
Yeah. Man, it's just, but because recently, yeah. Thanks for your input, but also how I like my robot shows. Because I was influenced by robot shows as well. Mostly my robot shows is basically more of the real robot side, but then goes into the super robot side. When it's a plot twist, is like introduce an element of a lost tech, and it turns and you equip their machines in it, and like turns into a super robot.
Yeah,
But
it's I would call that
yes.
a hybrid mecha show.
Yes, we need that. We need like the first starts real robot, but it's with shonen tropes, with like because mine tend to be like more like middle Star Trek rather than like Star Wars and Star Trek rather than like a very super robot show. But it's not
Yeah.
for everyone. It's mostly like Gundam, which is dramatic and slow. But we need the over the topness again. I miss that type of shit.
And that's the thing. If you bring over the topness to the mecha
Yeah.
genre,
Yes.
it's gonna bring a lot of people because that's what people like.
Yeah.
People like over the topness. They like power scaling.
Syntho Gear. Why say
Yeah.
Syntho Gear? Because it's over the top. That's why I
Yeah.
like it, because it is a magical girl done with cool outfits doing over the top shit. That's what it is.
Yes, exactly. And that's what you need. You need a mecha show that is over the top, crazy, with a hot blood protagonist
Yeah.
that is not an annoying kid who's emo or anything like that.
Yeah.
We don't need another
Armor
Simon. We need a Shishio guy from Galgaigar,
Yeah. I love
or
that guy.
or Ryoma Nagare or Koji Kabuto, or all three. You blend them together, and you get the
Yeah.
perfect protagonist.
Yeah.
And that would be like the best way to
We
make a modern.
Make a modern super robot show.
Yeah,
Why don't we don't have any more modern super robot shows? Because Gurren Lagann was actually the last of its kind of the super robot genre, if you think about it. It's like a wonderful goodbye thing, but the Super Robot ain't dead. It just needs a revival.
The thing is that
Yeah.
Well, Gurren Lagann is a love letter to the super robot genre.
Yeah.
Mazinger Infinity
Yeah.
kind of revived the genre too.
Yeah.
And we also had Shinka Lion, who's kind of like a Brave type series.
A train with the trains?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also had the Tomica series.
Yeah.
Of course, those series are not as accessible in the West.
Yeah.
Sadly, but you know, I wouldn't say like it ended with Gurren Lagann, because there were other there was a lot of real type robot shows from 2010 to 2020.
Yeah.
But some of them went super robot. For example, Majestic Prince.
The hell love that series, man. I have it on DVD.
That series is so good.
Yeah.
And we also have Aquarian Logos. It's also really good.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Aquarian is actually pretty popular regardless, because it has what the general anime fan likes.
Yeah.
Waifus, over the top.
Yeah.
And I gotta turn off my brain and enjoy this show.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. What are your other types of shows besides mecha anime you like? Like shonen, sports, slice of life shows? I like all stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I like a lot of anime genres. For example, I like the slice of life, like K-On!, Toradora.
Love Toradora.
I love that show. I also like my shonen. Yeah. I love Dragon Ball Z. Like,
yeah.
Whew, I've been a Dragon Ball fan for years now.
Yeah.
I think actually from the shonen shows, Senseiya, Hokuto no Ken,
yeah,
JoJo,
yeah,
and Fire Force.
Yeah.
The Fire Force is one of the most newest one.
Yeah, my favorite type of shows are basically like Ninja Scroll, Vampire Hunter D, Majestic Prince, Pal Labor, the Voltoms OVAs, the Getter Robo OVAs, Toradora, Angel Beats, Seal Experience Lane, various Gundam shows, Akira, Outlaw Star, Trigun, Bebop. I love my sci-fi.
Yep. Yeah, those are really good too.
Yeah.
I also like Lady Cat. That's an old one.
Yeah.
This other one, Irresponsible Captain Taylor.
The one Legend of the Galactic Heroes parody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then again, Galactic Heroes as well. Space Arcadia, Galaxy Express 99.
Hashimoto series, Leichi Hashimoto.
Yeah. Those ones. I also like. Man, so many I could list here. Daimi Dollar. It was a super robot that came out in the mid 2000s and 10s.
Yeah.
Incredibly crazy. Godanar. A Gun X Sword or Gun by Sword, however you want to call it.
Gun X. I call it Gun Sword.
Yeah,
Gun Sword. I got Gun Sword. I also got like Fafnir as well.
Fafnir.
Yeah.
That's another one.
For which I prefer more than Evangelion. Yes, people, I prefer a clone rather than its original.
I mean, I prefer Rasifon more than Evangelion, even though Rasifon is more of a related to Ray Dean than Evangelion.
Yeah.
Because I remember when Rasifon came out, there was an article, I can't remember the magazine, saying it was the Evangelion killer. I'm like, this is nothing like Evangelion.
Yeah.
This is Raiden.
Yeah.
The guy has the God voice. Yeah. He has the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. My dad. Speaking of Raiden, I'll continue.
No, go ahead.
Speaking of Raiden, my dad used to have a little toy of him. He didn't know the Japanese, but my dad got the Brave Raiden, the 70s Raiden toy that's like like a stat, like the plastic little toy that only goes like, and he shoots out the arrow with like shield and whatnot.
Yeah, that was part of the Shogun Warriors.
Yes, my dad loved that toy.
Yeah.
He didn't know what it is, and I said, "Is that Raiden? His name is Raiden, Brave Raiden." And he gave it to me when he found it.
That's cute. So,
yeah.
personally, I remember my first toy was a keychain based on Mazinger Z.
Yeah.
And there used to be these candies.
Yeah.
That had like Dogram figures.
Yeah.
Small ones back in the day. And in my old school, we used to trade and build our own robots. That was good times.
So he basically was raised into like the giant robot genre, basically.
Basically, yes.
Yes. So what are your final thoughts on how wait a minute, you already said that. Like, what's the final question? Any last words with the fans and the like and well, my final question is what are your feelings on the Western anime fandom's point of view of mecha anime? Despite famous anime-tubers, I just mix up these questions, saying mecha anime is dead, and what are your final thoughts?
Well, my final thoughts are, I think the anime fan base in the West has been misled for years.
Yeah.
That the mecha genre is all about the giant robot using his new weapons.
Yeah.
The mecha genre is much more than that. It has incredible character developments in many shows.
Yeah.
All the mecha series are focused on the characters before the mecha.
Yeah.
A lot of the conflicts are resolved with the characters interacting with other people, not with the mecha fighting a superpower boss. It does happen, but it's not as frequent.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a big misconception about what the real robot, super robot, and the hybrid robot are. Everyone thinks there's Gundam, real robots, and then super robots.
Yeah.
Gundam, yes, is its own thing, but Gundam is usually a hybrid of both.
Yeah.
I think that anime fans should expand their knowledge when it comes to mecha, and not just blindly listening to some YouTuber, myself included, when I did talk about the genre. It's good that they go explore, read about it, and educate themselves regarding the genre. Because there's much more to the mecha genre than just a big robot punching things.
Yeah.
Especially if you watch shows like Votoms, Dogram, Dragonar, Dan Cougar,
love Dan
and
Cougar.
many.
I like how it's approach to Dan Cougar is basically like a hybrid.
Yeah. Dan Cougar starts like a real, then ends up being a super.
Yeah.
Because everyone has their own little mech, but you don't see the titular mecha until episode 11 or so.
Yeah.
And then, sorry?
It's just unique as hell, basically.
Yeah, it is. It's very original. And I feel like there can be even more fans of the mecha genre if we eliminate the stigma that the mecha genre is dumb or that the mecha genre is only about giant robots.
Yeah.
And sports anime went through the same phase as the mecha genre.
Exactly. I remember that.
Not only just sports anime, we also had the magical girls genre also going through the same phase. And what people don't realize, especially these anime YouTubers, when they say this, what they're doing is a big detriment to the mecha genre or any of the other genres. When they say X genre is dead.
Yeah.
It's better to just say, hey, they're not doing as well because right now in Japan, the big boom is isekai.
Yeah.
So until that boom goes down, we're going to have to wait and see what's the next big thing.
Yeah. Speaking of which, can I stop you on that? Because
sure,
a robot show started the isekai.
Yeah.
Dumbine. Yes. So continue.
Yeah, so that's the irony. A
Yeah.
lot of people think everything started with Sora Online,
Wrong, wrong, wrong. There's like
and,
isekai shows before that. There's
and
like Subine. There's like
it's like if you're
Escaflowne.
gonna say that, at least mention Dot Hack.
Yeah.
Because Dot Hack was the original MMO isekai style anime, but
Yeah.
Doombind was the original isekai genre,
Yeah.
and a lot of people dismiss it because they don't know about it. And I really hope that in the West, the companies like Discotech, Funimation, Retro Crush,
Yeah.
etc., are able to bring more mecha franchises to the West and expand the mecha franchise. What concerns me is that these YouTubers who do have a big influence in the industry are doing more harm than good.
Yeah.
I don't think Gigok said that the fall of mecha, he said that because he wanted to bash on the genre. I think he said it because he was wondering why there hasn't been shows like Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
Like, I think he had good intentions, but I don't know. I think he had good intentions, but he didn't really deliver the message correctly. Yeah.
He didn't give out like reference interviews or stats or whatnot.
Yeah, so he basically based it all on My Anime List and forum sites.
Yeah.
Which is expected that they're gonna like more popular big hitters like My Hero Academia or
don't hang me, dude. Don't hang me, Guntank, but I do not like My Hero Academia. I love my Spider-Mans. I love my Batmans. I respect Superman. I don't like Superman, but I respect him. But I love Spawn, but I do not like My Hero Academia. It's kind of lame to me.
My Hero Academia could be better if the kids will grow up already.
Yeah, grow up, have character development, and grow up. Or just have...
Oh, there's plenty of character development, but not for everyone. Like, there's too many characters and it's incredibly hard. It's incredibly hard to... Yeah, the Bleach effect. So it's incredibly hard to give development to all of them.
Yeah.
And I think that the mecha genre is going to be fine.
Yeah.
Another thing is that when you say mecha is dead in the West, are you also including Spain, France, Europe? They are part of the Western world, Mexico, Argentina, Chile, because those places are big with mecha fans, are filled with mecha fans.
Yeah.
So I think in general, mecha is going to be fine.
Yeah.
And even though we're not seeing big bangers like we used to, like from 2000 to 2009, we had a lot of bangers. I think that the franchise is going to be fine. And Gundam is proof that there's a lot of interest with the mecha genre.
Yeah. You just need your super robot show and bam.
Yeah, you just need that big over-the-top one.
Yeah.
And I think, and here's the thing, Gridman was a sign that people like over-the-top stuff because of how popular it got.
Yeah.
It got so popular, it's getting a sequel with Daisenen.
Yeah.
Which I'm really, really waiting for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bill Fighters Free Rise, that's incredibly over the top.
And people loved it.
Yeah.
Anime fans love over-the-top crap.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of people. Here's a detriment that I didn't mention in my video, and maybe I should have mentioned. Mecha has this detriment that a lot of mecha shows wants to copy Gundam. You can't.
Or Evangelion.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You have to be over the top and crazy.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna copy Gundam, be as original as you can, like SPT Leisner or Vifam or Votoms.
Or Front Mission, if you want to count that too.
Yeah, from Mission as well. If you're gonna be like Gundam, if you're gonna talk about politics, make it interesting. Don't make it boring. There's this anime called Archivolen that
Yeah.
talked about politics and things like that,
Yeah.
but it was so boring. The fight
Yeah.
scenes were good, but the anime was boring.
Yeah. One
And we
thing.
also
Yeah.
go
Sorry
ahead.
about the interruption. Sorry about the interruption. I'm really rude. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worry about it.
Another thing. Yeah. Another thing is how they. What's that one thing I forgot to mention? Pal labor as well, but with front mission wise, the politics tend to be part of the storyline and it moves the plot forward.
Yeah.
Like each major conflict and entry, it reflects the plot in the world. And one more thing that got to my head right now. You heard the show called what's that one show on YouTube called? I need to look them up. Yeah, need to look. Hold on for a minute. And
Sure, go ahead.
it's just recent work though. Obsolete.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one.
It was amazing, man.
I haven't seen it.
It's like hold on. It's like Front Mission, but more realistic. Basically, the concept is when aliens came down to Earth and they traded for the cheap source of limestone. And for like one limestone, they like a couple limestone, but they trade Mecca alien tech for limestone. And humans managed to like build machinery, and some even use the machinery to build Mecca for war. And it changed the whole landscape of the political world. And instead of having mostly all Caucasian guys in Japan, instead it features like people from third world countries, from Africa, Middle East, war-torn places.
See, that sounds really good. I'm gonna have to check it out.
It is. It's like one of the most interesting real robot shows I've ever seen in years.
There's another show that was made in the West.
Yeah.
Genlock.
Genlock? Yeah, I didn't like that one too much.
That one was alright. It's just that
it needs work.
It needs work, definitely. Mm-hmm. But I did like the fact that Michael B. Jordan is a mecha nerd as well.
Yeah. Yes.
And the fact that, hey, Western studios are wanting to make mecha shows.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me if sometime down the line we get a Crunchyroll original that's based on a giant robot.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. So, but like I said, like the mecha gender is fine, and don't believe anyone who tells you otherwise.
No, it's still alive. It has huge amounts of fans, more than ever. Look at video games. It's doing fine.
Yeah, especially Cyberpunk. The new game is going to come out soon. Has a lot of mecha. Genre. Yeah, the sci-fi genre has a lot of stuff with mecha.
Yeah. So it's getting kind of late where I'm at. So any last words before we end this interview?
Last words. I'm not good at last words.
Yeah, I like to just say it. Like,
go ahead.
If you have, for those who are watching, if you have like any like comments or thoughts, please leave them down in the comment box below the YouTube video for the YouTube channel. And if you want to join the podcast, feel free to DM me. My DMs are open on Twitter, as well as the recently announced. I have a Discord on my Discord dedicated to the podcast. You can go on my Discord as well, and go on to my recommendations or invite channel, and just message me there, contact me from there. Don't forget to subscribe on the YouTube channel and hit that bell, and don't forget to hit that follow button on Spotify, Anchor, and or your other podcast services. And Guntank.
Yeah.
Yes, he just want to say go check out his channel. He really appreciates it, and no offense, dude, because you're not good with last words. I'm just plugging you in, and give a shout out. And sorry about that. And don't forget to give a shout out to SRWD80 for recommending Guntank81 because he's a big help on that, and I'm starting to be part of the Mecha fandom as well, so might as well interview a lot of Mecha fans as much as possible on the channel because it's my favorite genre of anime. It's Mecha, and that's what to say. And
hopefully you can bring Ollie.
I contacted him already.
Oh, awesome.
He's just really busy. He's a journalist.
Yeah, he's very busy, but he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he has interest though. I just had to message him again. So, anyways, what's your final words, Guntank, before I got interrupted? No offense.
sorry. So, final words. You can visit me on Twitter on Guntank81.
Yeah.
My YouTube channel is being revived, so you can check it out. It's Guntank81. I like all my names are pretty much the same, easy to find.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me here tonight. Okay. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Really appreciate it too, man. And that's all to say for now on this podcast. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to check out the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel for live streams, videos, podcast episodes. And don't forget to check out the Discord and the podcast and my Anchor and Spotify. So that's all to say for now, and peace. And sayonara.